Hello and welcome back to another episode of the British and Irish Eagles by Philly Sports International, sponsored by Loch Lomond and Passyunk Avenue. We've had a bit of a sporadic off season. I had a trade from the UK to the USA. New surroundings, new setup, new coaching staff over here that I'm dealing with. So we haven't done as many podcasts in the off season as we have done over the last 5 years, but I'm feeling the groove. Feeling like I'm back a little bit the last couple of weeks. Wrote a couple of articles online you may have seen. Phil and Mick are delighted that they're not just doing all the work anymore. Tony Burton is still skiving somewhere. You're listening in, Tony. You've done a piece of work for British and Irish Eagles since like May. We see you gallivanting in bougie freebie stores and competitions and Oasis concerts and all sorts. We see you, buddy. We see you. We hope you're listening in now. But anyway, before we go any further, want to welcome back to the podcast, Eagle Sessions. Gayle Saunders from Forford Jawn, friend of the podcast, and now my neighbor. How are you, Gayle?
I'm excited. It's weird for you to be in America. You said you know you're not showing up on time. You're becoming a fat American, lazy. Is that
Yep.
what that's what happens. You know.
Believe it or not, I've lost 6 pounds since I moved to America. I may be the only person who has managed to do that. But there you
Six
go.
pounds, man. God, you've changed.
I just want to let you know, Phil. He passed up open practice
I did.
tickets.
I was gonna say I was surprised you weren't there, Liam. Passed up for much better opportunities.
He's already spoiled. He's already
He's
spoiled.
he's got too much egos going on, man. He can't get to it all now.
I'll
He's
tell you
living
what
the
happened.
dream.
I can't remember if I rang you, Gail, or you rang me, or I text you, or you text me. But you asked me, was I going to the open practice on Sunday? Me and Katie, we're not planning to. We probably would have done. I'd be planning in advance, but then they were sold out, and you know. Anyway, and you messaged me, said you
You
go.
could
And I
have
said,
got tickets. Don't
well,
worry.
yeah, well, I went to Katie, and I said, hey, do you fancy going to the practice? And she went, what, really? Because we obviously went on a game on Thursday. We're going on Saturday. We got season tickets. Katie's the only one who drives. As some people probably know listening to this podcast, I'm yet to get my PA license before I can get my driver's license over here. So, and leaving the link on Thursday night last week, the traffic was awful because there was also a comedian who was playing at the same time. And I know that Sunday there was also a couple of double bookings going on, Gail. And I have to
Chris
say, I feel
Brown.
like we made the right decision because you told me that half the people didn't make it in because of the traffic, right?
Yeah. Something is, if you don't get there 3 hours in advance, it's a wrap. You're
Yeah.
gonna get hit with traffic and like 50 plus. I think 50,000 plus showed.
Wow.
I don't think they broke the record they did last year, but good vibe overall. Very nice to enjoy the Eagles. Good weather.
Good weather. Too good, if you ask me. Dying over here in this heat. Let's go to the practice then, Gail. Start off with the big news, obviously, the sad news. I remember I was watching your live streaming of the practice where you did. Thank you very much, doing the Lord's work for all of us who weren't there. From the comfort of my own sofa, I did have a bit of FOMO, yes, as you mentioned. But Landon Dickerson went down, and I was watching live with you when he went down. And what was it like? What was the feeling like in the stadium? I know online on Twitter, everyone was like, "No!"
You could hear. I think you could hear a pin drop. I think there was a moment where, because I'm always looking at body language of how players react, or like I'm crazy like that. I went to the preseason game just to get a seat behind the bench so I could see how players are reacting. Are they picking up the plays? But the body language of Lane Johnson, he threw his helmet when he went down.
Mm,
So I'm like, if Lane is throwing helmets, it could be serious.
yeah,
And everyone got real quiet. The players got down on one knee, but then the fact that he went he got carted off and was in the front seat, I was like, all right, it's not, if it was really bad, he would be in the back seat.
And that's
But
because they don't let you bend it, right? If they're in the back seat, they want to straighten it out. Is
yeah,
that
they
right?
would straighten out. He'd be sitting up. But I feel like that was my I was holding that to the vest. I was like, all right, it can't be that bad if he's in the front seat. So I mean, the news is now he's going to have a meniscus. He has meniscus injury. It's going to be week to week. He has a chance to be playing week one. So I mean that is
Don't risk him, Gail. Don't. I mean, come on, like don't risk him week one. I wouldn't, right? That was my reaction when I saw week to week could be good for game one. You know, I'd rather we didn't rush it back, miss one or two games, and then come back fully healthy. No.
but we know if we know if he can go, he'll go. That's just how
Oh, he's the
he's wired.
toughest guy around, right?
But if your name's Liam Sirianni, you're sitting him down. Phil, are you sitting him down? Are you going?
My biggest concern is that I'm not sure how much I trust the Eagles organization with injuries. We got pretty lucky last year, so it feels like it's been a while since we've had to decipher week to week, day to day. He's bending his knees, on straight on the car. I'm just kind of like, as long as he's back fairly early into the season, I'm happy. So yeah, I'm probably guess that means I'm on Liam's side a little. That
Ooh, there's a
there's no
change.
need to. There's no need to. I mean, if he's fit, he's fit, and if it all goes well, it just feels like it's too soon. It's like the season is 2 weeks, 3 weeks away, 4 weeks away. Sorry.
He had a little
Um,
knee injury on the injury report on the Saturday, and then he
mm,
obviously went down on the Sunday. So that's kind of I think where I'm coming from a little bit. Like if there was a little problem there, and then they pushed it too far, something's happened. Just let him fully recover.
but
They're
it's the
talking about
Cowboys and it's the banner, and you
we
don't
could
want
beat the
to.
Cowboys without Dickerson, no problem. Don't you worry about it.
I
You're
saw
right,
it.
man.
I mean, the key thing is where do the Eagles go in terms of the backup. I think
Yep,
Tyler
tough.
Steen could go there. You can move him there, and then bring. I think Matt Pryor connection with Lane Johnson
Hmm.
could be a thing. I don't think Kenyon Green has showed us much of anything.
Yeah, it's
He's
tough
week
to
to
tough
week now as
today.
well, isn't he? Kenyon Green. I think I read today he's also week to
Yeah.
week now.
Mm.
And Brent Toth is the he got the first team reps today, but
Yeah.
I don't see him getting it. I don't see him suiting up week one at that spot. I said the other day for a joke on the British and Irish Eagles WhatsApp chat. I said, "Oh, a little bit of Jurgens slot back into right guard. JC Kelsey. You got a month to bulk up again and come back in at center."
I saw Jason Kelsey at his golf outing.
Yep.
Man lost a lot of weight.
Yeah.
He's he doesn't he lost some weight. So I don't even think he's got. I don't even think he'd be ready for. I think he could give you some snaps. I'm just
Give
saying
me some snaps. Yeah.
he's not as heavy as he was before.
No. Well, like 30 pounds. You reckon he's lost?
Probably good 25.
Yeah. You could
He's cut up. He looked pretty cut up, man. I'm not even. He looked
Mm.
like a different dude.
We know how it happened towards the end of last year when we had Dickerson and Jurgen sort of fighting through some serious pain. So I guess there's that aspect as well where you're looking at, even if he's not 100%, he's built that way that he's going to be quite strong, and robust, that he's going to be able to get through. He will play if he can play. So I guess there's that to consider as well.
I think
Well,
you
that's the
also
whole
have to
Sirianni
think.
thing, right? Yeah, go ahead.
I think you also have to think about how many positions do you want to disrupt. I mean, that's like you move Cam to right guard,
Mhm.
and Steen to left guard. Now it's three different. It's like musical chairs.
Mm.
But I think Matt Pryor's versatility and his ability he can play left guard too as well, 4 positions.
What do you
So
think? What do you, so the D line has been getting the better over the O line in general. Would you say training camp so far from what we've seen go?
yeah, I think the D line at camp they were pretty ferocious, but I still think they're looking for that third and fourth rusher. Uche is probably and Arancro. He's also been, I think, BJ Ojolari is. I think fans are probably wondering when he's going to make his mark. But I still think, making a push for another edge rusher could be in play if they don't like what they see. So, but I think D line. I mean, Ty Robinson has flashed a little bit.
Mhm.
I think
Interior defensive linemen like Jomo, Davis, and Carter all look very good.
Gabe Hall as well. I
Hall,
think Gabe Hall made Booker expendable.
Mhm.
His play has been solid. I think Nolan Smith still, he's nursing himself back to full life. But I think overall, I think Jalen Carter and the group. I mean, they're gonna be pretty strong up front.
Yeah, the reason I asked the question was less about whether we go for another edge rusher, more about the state of the Eagles' O-line this year with obviously Steen stepping in. I know he's done a decent job. Um, but have you noticed where the pressure has been collapsing for the O-line? So has it been on the interior side with Jurgens and Steen,
Um, um,
or yeah?
I mean, at the last practice, it was interior. They were getting in, but again, I think with the offense, the offense they're showing is very vanilla. It's very. They're not trying to confuse anything. It's very. There's no dressing. It's like a salad with no dressing.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So what you're seeing is very basic.
It was like that for a lot of the regular season last year, though.
Yeah, but for open practices, it's like
Yeah,
very basic, and preseason very basic.
yeah. You expect to
Um,
see some more trying some new things out.
I really think right now it's the right guard spot in the depth. You know,
Mhm.
Tyler Steen, and who's going to be that guy that switches. I do think Matt Pryor's stock is up right now.
Hand on heart, hand on heart. Week 1 versus Dallas. First question is, will he play? Will Dickerson play? Second question is, if he doesn't, who's there?
I think Dickerson plays.
Okay.
It's Cowboys Eagles rivalry. It's to miss that game, and him being a leader in the locker room. If he's good to go, he's good to go. He'll give it a go. We've seen him go for the Super Bowl. He was pretty beat up. I mean, it's a meniscus. It's not like I mean, it's a bless. That injury that he has is a blessing
Hmm.
because it could have been worse. And hopefully it'll be cleaned up.
And if he isn't, who's starting there?
Steen,
Steen
Pryor,
at left guard, Pryor right
Steen.
guard.
I'm not going Brett Toth now.
No. Okay.
He's in
You wouldn't
pencil.
keep Dean where he is and let Pryor take left guard.
Well, I mean, if you're talking about the communication, I mean,
Mhm.
that's if they feel Steen at right guard and then Pryor at left guard. I mean, he has the experience, but I'm saying the communication with Lane Johnson could be a seamless move.
I like it. What about you, Phil? Was he suiting up, Dickerson?
Yeah, like I said, I think ultimately it comes down to the fact that he's a tough son of a bitch, and I'm gonna take the Eagles on their word, and the fact that they wouldn't be saying week 1 if they didn't think that it was a realistic possibility. So yeah, I'm gonna go with him. Well, Gale's opinion. He's not gonna want to miss this one at all.
All right, we'll switch sides of the ball here for a second. There's a few battles going on right now in the Eagles training camp. One of them is for the starting position opposite Quinyon Mitchell. So we've got Dory Jackson, Keely Ringo, and Bennett, who's recently been acquired in that trade. You were mentioning there a second ago with Brooker gone. Haven't seen much from Bennett yet, because he literally moved across the country last Monday. wasn't ready in time for the game on Thursday. I Did you see anything from Bennett in the open practice on Sunday?
I actually didn't.
No,
But
I didn't see anything on Twitter either.
I'm still I'm still kind of perplexed with what it's going to look like on week one. I mean,
Great. I like the fact you're perplexed because it means I can ask some good questions.
it's like I was really a little bit higher on Adoree Jackson just
Mhm,
from an experience starting standpoint. He's got a number of numerous starts under his belt, so I feel like he would eventually be the guy. Um, but from what I've been hearing and just being at the NovaCare, I mean, I felt like they were really disappointed in Ringo's performance. If you listen to Fangio's presser, you get an understanding of that. They'll use the whole. It was Jamar Chase. It was but just in terms of fundamentals, breaking down, making the tackle,
mhm.
not making it look like you don't belong at that very moment.
At the
That's
important moment where you need to step up.
that's any player that played in those preseason games or whatever. Those moments is what you build your stock off of. Like, I mean, if you don't show up when someone's answering at the door, then they have to move forward with someone else. And then
Mhm.
I think Jacorian Bennett, it's a guy just drafted right before Keely Ringo. Fangio has watched some of his tape in the past.
Mhm.
Didn't watch any of Dory's in the past.
Was let go, but yeah, I know. He said it was a Howie Roseman decision to bring him in. Did you remember hearing him say that?
Yeah,
Just throw Howie under the bus.
and Fangio, another person who's will not mince words.
Yeah.
He's not afraid to say what's on his mind.
Mhm.
So it's when you thought you could have maybe bring back Slay or as Isaiah Rogers, you thought you might be able to get an opportunity at either one of them, and to
Mhm.
be where we are at now, I think they're hoping Keely Ringo be ready, but I mean that's definitely a question mark.
I would have liked to seen Rogers back personally. I know he wanted Slay back for a number of reasons. Uh,
Bro, Slay is one of my favorite players.
I know. Hey,
This is
that's a signed Slay helmet right there.
get out of here.
Yep.
Slay was, I mean, for other, I just the leadership, and if you're gonna only do one more year, then why not bring him back for one more year? Because
Yeah.
now you are now nickeling diming the position with like three different players.
Phil, do you think it's a case of who doesn't mess up now between now and the end of the season between those three cornerbacks? Because like Bennett's almost gone to the top of the list by doing nothing. Do you know what I mean? It's like he hasn't done anything wrong, which has meant he's kind of gone. It feels like he's gone to the top of the list.
Well, 2 years ago, we were in a much different position with a similar position, I suppose, with uncertainty over the cornerback position after the terrible year that James Bradbury had. And then last season, we've had probably one of the best secondary seasons that, from in my experience, and for a long time at least. So there is the kind of the recency bias and looking at it going like we didn't even think about it last year. Cooper DeJeans, Darius Slay, and Quinion Mitchell kind of locked it down, and there wasn't even a second thought. I barely even thought about who was going to be playing that week. It was just locked in. You don't have that anymore, and we're kind of having to go back to where 2 and 3 years ago, where there's a bit of competition. They're not quite as good as we'd like them to be. It's not as settled as we want it to be, and we've got some new faces in the locker room. Some that are wanted, some that aren't. So it's naturally that we're going to have this kind of disruptive aspect going in, and it's unfamiliar based on last season. So I'm trying not to get too like worked up about feeling like 2 years ago when we were really concerned about that position, and also trying not to use last season as the marker either, and trying to be a bit more like, okay, this is probably more the normal place to be, where you've got a couple new faces, some experience is gone, and it's going to take some figuring out. I'm just going to trust that Fangio, like you said, I like the fact that he doesn't mince words, because I know that whatever is coming out, there's not going to be any favors played to certain players just because they've been there longer or because they've got more experience or anything like that. The right guys are going to be in the position come week one, and I trust that.
Yeah, that's fair. Gail, do you think I'm there's two question marks. There are many battles. right? There are battles across the roster for roster positions, but it feels like there were only two question marks, and one of them kind of isn't really a question mark in Tyler's team because all signs point to him doing well, and the other is this other cornerback position. You see any other weakness on the starting roster?
Well, I think with Makuba just finally getting now first team reps and him dealing with an injury. I think his progression you're hoping takes a Cooper to Gene like leap um, with more reps as we go on. I think Cooper to Gene at safety and base, which is only going to be like what 7% of the snaps, so that's not really. But I think Sidney Brown, I think, is also to me, in theory, this is where he takes the leap in his career. Like this is his breakout opportunity. He's got a lot of first team reps as well. I think I still, and then he's a guy that I wanted the Eagles to pick. He was on my list. It was a guy who I talked a lot about. The fact that we got him. I know the injury took him back a little bit, but I think I don't know if you remember Bob Sanders from the Colts, safety who ran around, hair on fire, same build, like 5'10".
Yeah,
Uh, he'll hit you. But there's the control aspect of Sidney Brown's game has to come to fruition. Like you have to be a complete,
yeah. You can't just be athletic and run around and want to hit things. You got to be yeah,
cerebral
yeah.
and
Did you
knock
see
people's
him?
head off.
Did you see him knock his brother's head off when he was trying to get into the end zone? I
It's
remember
spicy.
watching that live, and he went in hard at his knee. Like it wasn't like I'm just gonna take you out of touch here. Like he was like, bro, I'm coming at you.
Sidney Brown was like, if he dies, he dies. He
Yeah,
was.
yeah. Did you see it, Phil? It was a big hit.
To be honest, catching the highlights with two screaming children on Friday morning, was it? I didn't get a chance to really get into the X's and O's and then the tiny moments. I managed to record a short video just recapping what I had seen. But no, I did not see that. But that I do like that.
This guy
It
throwing his
was
kids
cool.
under the bus. Terrible.
I know,
Yeah,
right?
it's just, who'd have them, eh?
No, Sydney's like I always call blanket chip the protractor because his angles are like
Precise.
on point. It doesn't. You could talk about his speed or whatever, football IQ, cerebral. He's gonna get there. He's gonna make the tackle.
He does
Sidney
have
Brown,
he does have a thumb for a head though. Free blanket
yeah,
chip. If you notice his neck and head just look like a thumb.
yeah. Oh, he's dealt with also dealt with some injuries, but in general, I felt like Sidney Brown, he's like a wild horse, man,
Mm, untamed.
untamed. I don't know if you ever played Red Dead Redemption.
I have.
You got
Yep.
you got to tame the horse.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Like you got to tame your game, buddy.
I like that. Untamed Brown in the backfield. Yeah, I want to see him do really well.
At this point, I'm not angry, but like
Disappointed.
it's put up or shut up. Like
Yeah, I'm. Well, it is. It does feel like anytime he's starting to play a little bit well, he does seem to get an injury as well. Like he has had a lot of injuries. Didn't he?
and
Didn't he leave the game injured as well?
yeah, I
Yeah.
was monitoring the blue tent.
Yep.
I mean, he came out after and it was seemed to be okay, but it just is what it is. Availability is the best ability.
It does
I
feel
just.
very much like
Yeah.
the way the team's been set up. Like obviously we've bigged up Howie and we've bigged up the Eagles. Seem to be doing things the right way after coming off a Super Bowl win. Is locking down your key players or prioritizing the core and everything. A lot of that does rely on these players like Sidney Brown coming in and having these breakout moments. Like there's a very real possibility that the players that Howie is expecting to the mastermind gets not found out, but comes a cropper on his big master plan for the Eagles to become a dynasty, and this players like Sidney Brown don't do what he's expecting to do. This could go in a different direction.
Oh God, that's a bit of a negative take, Phil. Jeez.
It's not
Where
like
that
I'd say
come
it's a
from?
negative. It's a realistic
You
take. I
basically
don't think
just said the dynasty's going to come crumbling down due to Sydney
that's
Brown
not
not
what
making it.
that's not quite what I said. But
Well,
what I'm saying is, I think we have to be careful not to be like we
You
love
want to get
Howie
on
and
the
we know
fence,
how he
Phil?
will.
Is that
No,
what it
I'm just
is? All
not even
right.
the fence. No, honestly, it's not even the fence. It literally is just a case of I'm seeing how he's doing or how he's done, and I can see that it's like in any kind of you have to risk big to gain big. You can't just kind of play it safe. So Howie is risking it big on players like this coming forward, and and,
Eagles are the
and that's
second youngest team in the NFL on average, so you're not far wrong there, Gail.
yeah, well, I mean, Howie did an interview recently, like a couple days ago, basically saying that from the last Super Bowl, there's no starters left on that defense. Now they knew they had to get younger. They knew if you look at the last draft we've had, all defensive players. This is the mindset. I mean, I feel like if Sydney Brown was what they if Sydney Brown was playing the way they wanted Sydney Brown to be playing, we wouldn't have drafted Makuba
Bakuba.
in the second round. Makuba versatile, can cover, can play nickel. I mean, we had at one point in Sydney Brown's career, early rookie, covering CeeDee Lamb in the slot. I'm like, are you serious? So, I mean, it's a matter of, I think Fangio's getting acclimated to Sydney Brown in his defense versus Sydney Brown just making his mark. Like I mean, because we're there's also talks of Justin Simmons. Like if you were to tell me sign Justin Simmons and let Makuba come along, I'd give me Justin Simmons right now.
Yeah, you don't think he's passed it? A year too far? He's
I just
32 now,
I
33.
just want a veteran presence who knows the
Yeah.
defense. I mean, it's really about how they pick it up and play at high tempo speeds here. Okay,
Do you
and we
think?
haven't seen it yet. We haven't seen it yet from Brown.
Just
Do,
before
do
you
you
go on,
think that the final? Go on.
before I
No, go on.
forget, if I ever say acclimated rather than acclimatized, you know I've gone fully American, Phil. Okay.
Well, you went imperial with your weight measurements earlier, and we had the degrees Fahrenheit or whatever that is earlier in the WhatsApp
I'm
group.
trying to learn my
Acclimated?
Fahrenheit.
You're
I'm
already
trying to,
there,
yeah,
man. I thought you were going
climatized,
to
we
ask me
would
how
say.
hot it is, and I was desperately trying to calculate what 33 degrees C is in Fahrenheit, but you didn't ask me, fortunately, so I've not been
It's
coming
about
across there. But
92, just so you know.
no, thank you for that.
Y'all
I can
always
rest easy
confuse
now.
me as well.
We're not going to get into that now. I've seen too many debates on that.
So I'm
oh,
gonna use my my slang, Liam slang.
Mm.
So do you fancy acclimated now?
No, that's not how it works. So I messaged Gail earlier on today, and I said, "Do you fancy?" I said, "Fancy coming on the podcast today?" And he said, "Fancy." I was like, "Yeah." So like, so saying "fancy," do you want to do something? Is like saying,
does
"Do
it
you
appeal to
fancy
you?
doing something?" Does it appeal to you? Would you like to come on the podcast? So fancy coming on the podcast means, would you like to come on the podcast?
I
Hmm.
fancy that. Yeah.
But I said, do you fancy acclimated? Yeah. The
No.
pronunciation.
Yeah, I don't mind it actually, to be fair. When I first came,
How
it's a
else
good
do you all
question.
say it?
Acclimatized.
Acclimatized.
Oh my God, acclimatized.
Acclimatized.
To be honest, it's never really
Acclimatized.
come up in conversation for me, so I'm not really sure where I stand on it.
Sorry for interrupting your football question with that, Phil. But go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, like, the whole Justin Simmons thing's been kind of floating around the background for pretty much the entire off season, last season as well, with Fangio in the building now. Is there a chance that like that's kind of just on the back burner? Like that's Fangio's kind of got that like maybe pre-approved to say like if the situation goes like when we're not getting, we've got it kind of lined up because Justin Simmons is saying the right things. All the
A
star
little
team already
safety
aligned.
net at safety, if you will.
Yeah,
Real
yeah, something
safety.
like
All
that.
right.
Well, you
All
think
right.
about it, right? If I was a GM, right, I want to see how good Makuba is playing. Obviously, he's just getting healthy. I would want to see how Sydney Brown is coming along, see what I have, and then if I realize that I don't
How
like
late
what
do
I
you
have,
leave it, Gail? That's the question. How late do you leave it before you pull that trigger?
I
If
mean,
you're Harry Roseman.
I mean, you and then again, as a veteran in this defense, and he knows the book of Fangio. He could easily turn to like if it was a rookie coming in later
Mm.
or a younger player coming in with no experience with the Fangio
Pick it up,
defense,
right?
he should
Mm.
be able to pick it up fast and not be behind the eight ball. He's not learning a new defense if they brought him in now. And he has Christian Parker, who's also was his
Mm.
DB coach.
DB coach, yeah.
So that's the easy download. But I guess price wise, if his price is too high, they don't like it, then that's probably where they're at.
$9 million 1 year deal.
Less.
Last 6.
I'd try less than that.
Really? I don't
I
think
I
Simmons is coming for less than 6.
I mean, I push for that.
Yeah.
I mean,
All
do
right.
you
One
want to
more.
win a Super Bowl or not? You know,
I want a Super Bowl. I'll pay the 9.
this
No,
Yeah, you wouldn't
right.
pick
One more
Kelsey though.
question. Yeah, that was a whole. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if Gail knows about that. None of Gail knows about that one. A couple of years ago, when Kelsey got his $13 million extension, I came on the
Ian was
podcast
not
and
a
saying
fan.
I said he should have taken 10 and kept 3 for if we needed to make any moves, he didn't need the money, and I got ridiculed for that. So probably rightly so. One more question before you can jump on that. On the secondary, we haven't talked about Eli Ricks at all. Is he making the 53?
I think he's a guy. If you do try to squeak him on the practice squad, potentially could get plucked. I think
Yeah.
he's a decent depth player. I mean, his showing was in the preseason. I mean, he knew that he missed a great opportunity to stand out. You get a pick 6. You're talk of the town for like at least a
Yeah, you're
day. Your
you're you're
stock's
in the
high.
53 pretty much, right? If you pick that pick 6, you're probably in, right?
I don't know. I'm not gonna say he was definitely in, but it, you know, I
You're
mean,
peacocking.
these are the type of plays you got to make. It's not like
Yeah.
it's just not like a. There was plays that Johnny Wilson needed to make in that preseason
Mm,
game,
and he did.
and he did. Anais Smith, he didn't make some plays in that game. He
Mm,
did. Darius
yep.
Cooper needed to
My
make some
guy.
plays in that game.
My
He
guy.
did. Yeah. So I mean, they're very. It's a matter of like who steps up when the moment
It's so
arises.
harsh, isn't it, in the NFL? I don't know there's any other. We've probably spoken about this on the podcast before in past seasons, Phil, but I don't know any other sport where players can millimeters worth of movement in the wrong direction can have a player going from signing a contract with an NFL team to potentially working in McDonald's the next. Like it doesn't happen in soccer that way because the system's different, and you're in the academies and then you make it, and then you're getting paid all the way up through that. I guess it's a bit different with the college payment system now, but like it's
Everything's
so
quantifiable though.
harsh.
It's,
Yeah.
it's definitely tough.
You can.
Go ahead, Phil.
No, I was saying because you can measure everything in the NFL. I know there are still the kind of stats, but not on the same level in our football. That you kind of it's all more fluid. It's more the eye test. It's more how you see a player's effort and sort of the results of shots and stuff. But in the NFL, like everything from his stride, how many steps he took, whether he turned left, right, up, north, south, east, west, caught the ball, was in front of him, behind him, overthrown. Like there's everything is written down, everything's recorded. Like so, when it comes to analyzing if a player is good enough, you've got a plethora of stats there just to take your pick, and that's also the beauty of how we interpret the NFL ourselves, is like you can basically find stats to support any argument is the cliche, and it's pretty much true because
Who, me?
there are so many stats. Yes.
I was watching the preseason game 2 years ago with Matt Pryor's family. So I'm sitting there with his fiance and his mother-in-law, and we're in New York or New Jersey. And it was very interesting to watch a preseason game with a family because they know that they could potentially be
Yeah,
moved, be
wow.
cut, and he's on the bubble, and the whole family knew he was on the bubble. So he like misses a sack, and the whole family is like, oh, like you could see it, like they're like watching every single rep. He misses the block, and then 2 days later, I get a call from a friend who's like, Matt Pryor's getting traded, and then I text Matt Pryor's fiance back. I'm like, hey, you guys are about to get moved, and the fact they don't know that yet, and yeah, I'm like, it's, and then they end up going to Indianapolis, and then,
Yeah.
now they're back,
Yeah.
and it's weird to see how things work, but it's it's a rough business. It's a cutthroat business.
So Matt Pryor nearly lost his wife and his job if you were texting her. Right. Is that what we're saying here?
this this guy. Someone cut his mic off.
Yeah, gladly.
I'm
Right.
I'm friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
I know you
Okay.
are. All right, let's get to our wide receivers. I'll send you these articles. One of the articles I wrote was on the running back room, and one of the articles I wrote was on the wide receiver room. Gail. So, anyone listening in, if you haven't seen it, go check it out at www.phillysportsinternational.com. And you can find the articles there. You can also find it on all of our social media channels. So wide receiver, there's a couple of questions here. One, how many are they taking onto the 53? Because historically they take 5. And I think this is an easy answer now but if they're taking 6, fine. Who are you taking? Well, obviously AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Jahan Dotson locks in at 1, 2, 3. What's your 4, 5, 6, and in what order of importance do you think they are to the Eagles?
It's a pretty loaded question there, buddy. But I say, I mean, I love the idea of Elijah Cooks, but if he's not fully ready to go, he's the guy that probably will get plucked if you try to squeak him by on the practice squad. I think you think about size of the wide receivers that we have who can play interchangeable. Does Anaya Smith, they feel like his progression? So I mean, it would be, do they like Johnny Wilson's blocking for one thing? So it'd be Johnny Wilson, Anaya Smith, and then the upside of Darius Cooper would be interesting. I mean, from what I heard, I feel like they're really high on him. Darius Cooper. I mean, and then from what I've seen, natural at the catch point. I mean, the way that Darius Cooper catches the football is how you would want Johnny Wilson to catch a football. I have not yet seen that consistently from Johnny Wilson, but he did show me he had it in him.
He had the ability to make a contested catch. One of the issues I have with Johnny Wilson, and I do have him making the team, is separation. Like, he just doesn't seem to get any separation. I know he's a big guy, and it's hard for bigger guys to get separation, but he doesn't get separation, and he relies on those 50-50 balls because he's the tallest wide receiver in the league, or I think I heard the other day.
Mm-hmm.
But Darius, I mean, he's my camp crush, but like by a mile. I love Darius Cooper. He just seems to get open, and he's like, people were saying, oh, he's not that fast. He's not a big. He's 5'11". He ran a 4.49. AJ Brown ran a 4.49.
I
Like,
mean, yeah,
he's fast enough. Like, and he gets open. He just seems to get open for the quarterback when the quarterback needs him open. That's the best trait I've seen, and for me, that's the best trait you could have as a wide receiver 3 or a wide receiver 4. Would be to, if number 1 and number 2 aren't getting open and you need to get open for your quarterback as the third option, then that's the best trait you can have, in my opinion.
I mean, think about his play. That was so inspiring. Is that the game didn't look too big for him.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I'm talking about. He pivoted on, caught that like slant route and pivoted
That's
outside.
beautiful.
That
Yeah, the whole
that's
crowd
like
went, ooh.
that's like natural stuff. Like,
Yeah.
he's not fighting the football with his hands. His hands. I mean, that's what you really want. At the end of the day, I've been at the Senior Bowl practices with all the other scouts sitting there wanting to see stuff from Johnny Wilson. And here we are years later, I'm still wanting more from Johnny Wilson. But if Boy can block on the outside and Saquon needs to break a run, you have your guy as a blocker,
Yeah, I mean, Phil, do you disagree? I think at the moment, we're all me and Gayle are in agreement that it's Smith, Wilson, and Cooper if they bring 6 through. I don't think you get. Not sure you get any of them through waivers if you put them on the practice squad. Maybe Wilson be the only one you'd get through. I don't think you get any through.
Some,
No.
someone to take a chance on him.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah,
Unless Anais Smith. How you feel about Anais Smith?
I'm not high on Anais Smith at all. I think.
Right.
I think. Go ahead, Phil. Sorry.
No, I was just saying, I trust what Gale's saying when he says he's developing better. He certainly didn't do enough. He didn't feature enough. The Eagles didn't trust him last season enough. But it seems like it's a different story, and that's what you kind of expect. They're in a better position than they were going into last season. Jahan Dutson's obviously reportedly increasing, having a lot more a better relationship with Jalen Hurts in training camp, so that's a good sign. And the guys behind him coming in, we are splitting hairs a little bit in terms of the fringe players, because really what we're really all focused on are the main three. But if we're talking about who we want to bring through, it's nice to have an exciting guy like Darius Cooper coming in, lighting up training camp, giving you that something to focus on the preseason games. We obviously got Terrace Marshall and stuff like that's come in. He's probably not going to make if I've not heard his name mentioned enough. And like you're saying, Johnny Wilson brings something to the table, maybe not the complete package, but between sort of Cooper, Wilson, and Anais Smith, I think we should have something, enough of what we need to come in behind in those moments, and we're going to need to call on someone through injury or just through those specific plays where you need that 4 or 5 coming in as well.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm quite excited about the wide receiver room right now, probably more so than I have been any preseason. As long as I can remember as a member. Yeah, like I'm so big on Cooper right now.
When did we bring Dotson in? It was mid-season. It was after the season started, didn't it? Wasn't it?
Yeah, it was past camp.
Yeah, so it's like it's nice to have. We were going into the season with Smudge Smith, Devontae Smith, and AJ Brown is like locked in, but there was huge questions over who was going to come in. I'm excited. We're going into a new season with much better options.
I mean, remember when we had Hightower and
jeez,
Travis Fulgham.
Travis Fulgham had a stretch.
Quez Watkins.
Watkins.
Yeah. I had a chance to speak with Jahan Dotson on Friday.
Okay.
Spent a good half hour with him. It was a great conversation. Like, he's actually from my girlfriend's hometown, so we had a whole talk on Nazareth, Pennsylvania. He's very excited. Very like, you have conversations with athletes. Sometimes they're not hearing you, not emotionally aware. They're
or
just
invested
like
in the conversation.
Bro, it was a great conversation. Just talking about I was talking about how he was setting up the DBs on one of the route that he caught, and he's like in a better space. Basically talked about being not behind the 8 ball and now being a full year in the offense, being acclimated, being down in Houston with Jalen,
Yeah.
acclimatized with Jalen in Houston. So he's in a good space, very good space. So
my kind of outside take for the season, which will probably go up in smoke, is that by the time the Eagles make the playoffs, Cooper is wide receiver 3. That's my long shot take.
Phil,
that one's getting put on YouTube. Don't worry,
Phil.
Yeah.
Do something about this.
I tried, but he's run away. He's run away to you. You're closer. You do something.
This is true. You got to mind me now, Gayle.
We've been doing this for years, Gayle. Welcome to our world.
I'm his handler now. Like,
you are. Yeah. You and Vince, you're my handlers.
I try to get him on the right path. He's eating fast food now. He's been to McDonald's like twice a week.
That's not true. I may have been to the bars more frequently since I've been here and eat burgers there. Definitely not McDonald's.
No, it's been great watching you guys get acclimatized to America.
acclimated.
Can you please say that on your podcast later on today on Talking John
Acclimatize.
Pod?
I will.
Yeah, acclimatize. All right,
Fancy as well. I
and
fancy
Fancy.
being
fancy.
acclimatized.
I
Yeah,
fancy the British and
decent.
Irish Eagles podcast.
Yeah, there you go. If anyone listening in fancies watching the British and Irish Eagles podcast, go get acclimatized to how the boys are. Did not. All right, running back room. Um, we had Coach Singleton on the podcast. He was in the last podcast we had a couple of weeks
How
ago.
was that?
Yeah, really good. He's always
Eh,
great.
Did he drop any gems? That
He pretty much said, well, Phil, I think something happened. I went out of the room when he was talking about who he thought at the time was going to be running back two. And am I right in saying he kind of said it's obviously an open battle, but like Shipley was kind of in the lead at that point? I mean, this was a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I think he's yeah, you kind of got it right in the sense that I think Shipley's de facto just ahead just because he's been there longer, and Dylan's obviously come in on kind of a prove it deal with the injury and everything like that, so it's naturally going to be sort of like slightly ahead. But he also kind of really highlighted that Shipley and Dylan bring completely different attributes to the table. So it kind of likes, I think he likes the idea of it being a 2A, 2B, like depending on what down or what situation they're in, that they've got the powerhouse in Dylan, sort of similar build, similar style to Barkley maybe, and then you got Shipley sort of slightly lighter, more nimble on his feet, quicker to get through the gaps. So I think he's quite happy with sort of like a 2A, 2B. He kind of touched on the UDFAs. I know that Sean Derrick got some good reps against the Bengals. So I think he didn't really touch too much on those, but yeah, he's definitely. I mean, after last season, he's really happy with his running back room. But I think he's even happier now that he's got these the rookie Shipley that he was obviously really glowing at when they drafted him
He
last year.
did say, like I know you said 2A, 2B, but he did say on the podcast, he did say RB, like there is an RB2 role. So I do think there will be a mix and mash of. Here's where I stand right now, and then I'll pass it over to you, Gail. I think Shipley's going to be running back two, and I think Dylan is going to be brought in for some specific plays. And if Barkley ever goes down, then I think Dylan would take on more of the Barkley role than perhaps Shipley would. So for me right now, I mean, but Barkley's a three down back, and you bring in Shipley in the pass catching game, or maybe third and long situations, and Dylan could maybe take on some of the short yardage situations which aren't 1 yard out from Barkley and Hurts. That's where I stand. But where are you?
I mean, the funny thing is, AJ. I've seen him grow up as a kid. Like he's from my hometown.
Ah, I didn't know that either.
So my best friend and my best friend's wife and his mom were in the same best. I was the best man, maid of honor. So I've
Wow.
seen him since a kid develop
Yeah.
into an athlete, and just see him.
Quadzilla.
This is kind of I manifested this moment. Him being with the Eagles is something I've actually wanted for a while now, as a change of pace back, just to see him here. I think the one thing that I love about Shipley as a two is his a natural ability as a receiver. Did that at Clemson. He's a little bit more. He's got a shift to his game. I don't know if the juice is really juicing, but he sees it well. I think what I think about AJ is he's a different style of runner, ground and pound, who also has a nasty little jump cut.
We saw that the other day.
Yeah, I mean, that's something I talked about before we saw that again. I've seen that while he was at Boston College, and that's once I started scouting him back then. I was like, he has got a wild jump cut for a guy his size.
His size.
The fact that he's got a couple catches in preseason look pretty natural there. I think I think the role is nice, especially for giving Barkley some breathers.
Hmm.
He's going to be a nice little piece where you're like, do we need to do the tush push when we got?
Yeah, that's the way I see it. And also, like, you're 21 points up at halftime.
Oh, this is what I'm
You
talking
know,
about.
bring the guy in, let him wear down the opposition's defensive line even more while you're saving Barkley on the side, right?
And I think the thing is like if you really want to like look at things, you look at like the money. So if you
Mm,
look at his contract, he's got 167,500 guaranteed
yeah, it's crazy.
of that contract. It's a 1.3 year deal. So in terms of like, you know, if they feel like they can move on him or they feel like they potentially could trade him if someone loses a back. But I think we're in a good position. I really feel like having him here would be just as a role is crazy. Shanderick Powell is my sleeper though.
Yeah,
I,
good
I
talk.
asked the question
Yep.
while I was in the NovaCare. I said, is Shanderick Powell a candidate to have a mystery injury?
Ah, gotcha. Okay, just to save him from waivers.
And then we keep him on the bubble. Just let him
Yep.
get
Yep.
acclimatized to
Climatized.
Eagles culture. I think Shanderick Powell to me, he's he's got he's got stuff you can't teach.
Is he
Size
is he 5'7"?
I th- I'm not. I think is he 5'8"?
I think I saw the other day he was 5. I could be wrong. He
I
looked
mean
good
that.
against the Bengals.
I mean he averaged like what? He's 5'7". Yeah,
5.5 yards per carry he averaged.
we
Yeah,
follow each other. We follow each other on Twitter.
oh,
Good
look at
guy.
you at the.
Good
I got a
guy.
few flexes on this podcast,
Hey,
Gayle, and friends of AJ Dillon. Now been spending time with Dotson, Matt Pryor's wife. Now we got Shanderick Paul following you. It's, oh, taking a little
bro,
whiff.
we had a moment at the Eagles Autism Challenge.
Oh, nice.
I told him how much I was like, I'm a big fan of your work.
Yep.
Big fan of your work. I mean, hey, what he averaged like 8 yards a carry in
When
college,
is he college? Yeah, yeah.
dude.
I'd like to see. So, but the interesting thing is, like, with the Eagles probably taking 6 wide receivers through, like, does that mean that they only take? And I know you said we could hide them, but like, does that not? Do you not think that affects the amount of tight ends and running backs we can bring, or do you not see the Eagles bringing 6 through? Am I off? Am I off piece on that?
Because I'm wondering where Avery Williams is at. Because you think about punt returning ability.
Yep.
Do
Hmm.
you see Anais Smith and a mixture of Anais Smith and Cooper DeJean certain moments at punt returner? Who
Yeah,
could do? Who's more
yeah. I don't
versatile?
think I've seen. I mean, I know Avery Williams. I think he led the league in 2022. I think in punt return average yardage or total yardage. I remember seeing that the other day. But I don't know that like I don't know if the Eagles have invested enough money in him to
He got a
move on.
guaranteed money.
How much did he get?
Um, what's his name again? Avery Williams. Yep. I think he
And
got
it's yeah,
one of the most guaranteed money. He's on a,
well, that probably does mean he makes it then.
he got $400,000 guaranteed.
Wow, two and a half
Yep.
times more than AJ Dillon.
So
So maybe
the
money
always
does talk there. Yeah. Okay. Good point.
my always thing is look at the guaranteed money, and that tells you how they see them. But again, I didn't see Britton Covey like tracking skills as a punt returner out there.
No. No. I mean,
Certified
I'm
Covey
kind of.
stand, by the way.
I'm kind of. Yeah. No. I'm Cooper DeJean, like I would love to see him back there every time, but I don't want him back there because I'm worried about him getting injured. Like that's kind of where I am with DeJean. I'd rather have him fit and healthy playing in the secondary than punt returning. Um, I haven't been that enamored with our punt returning or kickoff returning for probably since Darren Sproles was an Eagle, to be honest. Uh,
Covey had some. He was a alternate for the Pro Bowl guy.
I liked Covey, but I wasn't as high on him as others were.
My
Wasn't.
thing about punt returning skills is the ability to not lose yards, not lose fumbles,
I know. And you're
and get.
right, and I'm wrong. I want to see the sexy home run hits. Right? I want to see the Turpin level stuff, right? And you're fine to disagree with me because I actually think you're right in what you look for. But for me, like I look for all of that safety stuff all over the rest of the field. If I'm watching a punt return, I want to know the guy's got a chance to bring it to the house.
He's
And
got all flash.
Covey never had that. Like, you never thought Covey was making it to the house. You knew
But
he was going to get stopped by a cop before he made it up the street. Like,
but what you didn't know is all his ability to scout as this guy could be a potential special teams coach. Now, when you're
yeah, I
like
know he's smart.
when you're like 50 something and you look back and you see Britton Covey as a special teams coach in the NFL,
Yeah,
I
I
want you to
remember
hit
his
me up,
moment.
okay? And
Yeah,
you're
okay.
like, hey, Gayle,
Yeah.
remember you said that Britton Covey's going to be a special teams coach in the NFL? And I'm like, you know what?
Good for him. Good for him. But, like, I'm talking about a returner for the Eagles right now. I'm not talking about his ability to be a
I'm saying
coach.
because he designs the returns,
Yeah,
like
I know. I
in the
know. I did know
mental
that.
notes that he
I
gives
did
the
know that.
players that he
Yeah.
leaves them in his locker. That
Great.
is
Well, perfect.
next
Keep him in
level
the
stuff.
sideline. Have him as a coach now. Bring
Hater,
me, give
man.
me someone who's going to give me a home run hit.
Hater, man. He moves to America, changes his
Don't
ways.
indulge him, Gayle. Let's make that clear. He's just stringing you along.
No, I'm not. I'm not. I
He-
genuinely, I want to see a sexy punt return
Hey,
and
bro,
Ryan
he
Smith
made the
again.
Pro Bowl. He made the Pro
Yeah,
Bowl.
it's not sexy enough for me.
But he
Not sexy.
doesn't care about the Pro Bowl.
Did he get one single punt return or kick return touchdown in his entire career at the Eagles? No,
He
zero.
did break some nice runs.
Yeah, so does everyone who gets a shot at it. Zero
Yeah,
touchdowns.
we really could have done with those punt return touchdowns in the Super Bowl when we were 40 points
I feel
ahead.
the same as Anaya Smith, by the way. I feel the same as Anaya Smith punt returning the ball as I did about Covey. There's
Oh,
not enough
come
juice.
on,
There's not enough
man.
juice there for me.
I see. I used to be a punt returner, so there's things that I notice that he does that it's a technical thing. It's
Yeah.
catching,
Again,
bread basket.
I'm not trying to tell you that I'm right and you're wrong. I fully appreciate that you're right. I'm just telling you I like a little bit of sauce in there.
Phil Liam's a hater.
He always has been. Always has been.
All right, so predictions, and then we'll wrap it up here in a sec. Well, actually, no, I've got a couple more quick fire questions for you. Predictions on who's making the roster in the running back position. Are you going with Avery as number 4 and then sneaking Powell in somehow? Is that where you're at?
I think Powell. I specifically asked that question about mysterious injury because that's what I would do.
Yeah.
He's
Okay.
gonna have a muscle pull of some sort. I'm just saying, tissue injury can't hide. You can't prove that one.
No.
So Avery Williams potentially, if they don't feel like he's the guy. Yeah, that's what I would do.
Okay.
And then I would have AJ Dillon at 3, 2A, 2B.
2 ATB. Right, quick fire questions here then, Gayle, to wrap us up as we approach the hour. Eagles record this season?
13-4.
13-4.
It's very confident. Man.
Phil, where are you at now? And I know we tend to move around during the preseason.
Was it with you 12-5 and I was
I
11?
I went 12-5 this year. Yeah.
I mean, I'm still definitely no better than 11-6, but I might be somewhere in between 10-7 and 11-6. Because
Wow, 10-7.
just
Eagles ain't losing 7 games this year.
Yeah, they could. They could easily lose 7 games this season if things don't go the way. Like, I'm just not.
Welcome to
I'm not-
94.1 WIP. We got caller Phil here on the line.
Oh,
Hater.
don't group me with that. Nah, I still think we're going to win the division and go to the Super Bowl. It's just I just don't think the regular season is going to be as
Pretty.
dominant and elegant as last season was, and there's going to be some hiccups along the way. And
I mean,
it's
injuries
just going to be one of those things.
Injuries could come into effect and could.
We're gonna get a puncture in the tire at some point, but it's a quick fix. We'll be on our way again. It's just things like that gonna happen.
All right, interesting. Super Bowl, Gayle, are we going back? Are we going back to back?
If we're going to speak it into existence, yes, we are going to the Super Bowl. I'm already going to book my hotel room in San Francisco.
I might do the same. So let me know where you're
this
at.
is a pro tip. Okay.
Yep.
Book it now.
Okay. I will.
Yeah.
I will. Katie can't hear me because I'm on the headphones, so we're all good.
We can't Uber all the
Eagles.
way to San Francisco either.
No,
Okay.
we can't. No, I know. We'll get a flight. I'll bring you into the club lounge at Philadelphia Airport. How's that?
I fancy that idea.
Yeah, you fancy that? Eagles MVP of the year on either side of the ball.
Saquon Barkley.
Ooh, nice. Eagles offensive player of the year, and you can't go MVP.
Can I go Jalen?
You can.
Yeah.
Defensive player of the year.
Jalen Carter.
Obviously.
Eagles rookie of the year, either side of the ball.
I'm gonna go Makuba.
Interesting.
Oh no, wait, Jihad
over
Campbell.
Campbell?
I'm so sorry. So sorry.
I
Jihad
love
Campbell.
that. And then the Zach Baun Award, which is basically the player who right now no one is thinking is going to be like near a Pro Bowl caliber, but someone who's really going to stand out of nowhere. Could be a player who's a starter, but isn't expected to be like a
Moro
key
Ojomo.
piece. Moro Ojomo. I like that as well. Although I'm not sure he's the level of Zach Baun. I feel like people already expect a lot of him. I feel like that may be too much of an easy out. What do you reckon?
I mean, I think he's a role player at this as we speak. I think.
You think he takes over from Davis as like DD2, DT2?
I think. I mean, Jordan Davis has lost a lot of weight. He's exactly where I want him to be. When he came into the league, I want him to be 25 pounds less, and now he's here where I want him to be. But
I mean,
I think it'll be interesting where he is. But Ojomo should definitely have a huge role.
I mean, in the interest of going like for like, when you're talking about the Zach Baun Award, you could be looking at the at Bennett at cornerback, like a signing that's come in that's not really had much on the radar that ends up coming in
that's a
and having a
good
good season. It
shout.
feels very much like where it is at camp at the moment, where there's definitely an opportunity for him to come in and do that, and he's obviously got the caliber to do that. And coming into an Eagles team that should elevate him, I reckon he'd be my shout.
I like that, and I'll give you Sidney Brown as well. So I think you three candidates there. Sidney Brown at safety, Moro Ojomo defensive tackle, and then Bennett at cornerback. They could be our three Zach Baun potentials, candidates. Better word, candidates.
Bennett has some spice in his game. Dealt with some injuries. And the Pete Carroll mode of cornerback, if you look at their cornerbacks, all 6'2".
Yeah.
So definitely didn't fit their scheme. So I think he's got a great opportunity to come here and do something. I'd
like to see it. I'd like to see it. Never Bennett with Michael Bennett back in the day. All right, Bird Gang. We are, what are we now? 3 weeks away? 3 weeks, three and a half weeks away from the Eagles.
Who's counting?
Every single day. Every single day. To the Eagles opener against Dallas, where we watched Jerry Jones watch us drop the flag. Gayle, see you Saturday afternoon, pre-game for the next one.
Am I pre-gaming? I'm not pre-gaming.
You're not pre-gaming. What time are you getting there?
I mean, I'll be there, but I'm not like tailgating.
Yeah, it's a bit early, I suppose, for a preseason.
I got to pace myself.
Yeah. This guy wants to tailgate.
I don't miss open practices like you do. I usually show up to everything, but
dedicated.
Next year. Phil, been a pleasure as always, my friend. Thanks for jumping on late time in the UK. It is 10:34 back home. Gayle, appreciate you coming on. Now that I'm over here, maybe we can get you on a bit more this season.
Always a pleasure. Let me, I'll be your, Jason Avant, reliable hands.
I love it. Reliable hands, just like Darius Cooper is going to be this year for the Philadelphia Eagles. Reliable hands. Hey, get me on the 4 for Jawn podcast and one time in the next few weeks so I can put some of my spicy takes out there.
Okay, let me know when you're free.
I will. All right, guys. He's like, I'm not doing it. Gayle, thanks for joining. Phil, thanks for joining. Thanks everyone for listening in. We are the British and Irish Eagles. We'll be back next week. And go Birds!